Like the Real Housewives of Max Verstappen up in here.
Checo's checked out.
Joe Lonyu is off the track. That steak is cooked.
A lot is at stake for Steak F1.
Man, even the broadcast couldn't handle that stat.
My heart almost was screaming like, how can anybody be a Lewis Hamilton fan?
No.
Not on my 2024 bingo card.
Yeah, you're gonna have to create a new one now.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Lights Out Latest. My name is Marina, and I'm here with Tristan, Steven, and Jason. Firstly, Max champion.
Congrats. Let's get it out of the way now.
Yeah, we thought it would be different this year, didn't we?
You thought you were blatantly wrong, but okay.
Oh.
No. Here's exactly what happened. Let me give you the rundown.
It was different, but...
Now, Max knew his popularity was tanking, okay? And it's because he was too good. He's too good at racing a car, right?
Right.
So all he wanted to do is like, you know what? And he knew Lando needed a little push. Lando was getting a little too popular, right? So he wanted Lando to tank, and he wanted himself to rise back up. So he let Lando start winning and thinking he's the man, right? And then
arrogant and
became arrogant and started to suck. And then Max is like, call an ambulance, but not for me. And then turn it around on Lando. That's exactly what happened.
Master strategy.
That's the script. Everybody, just want to put it out there. That is exactly what F1 planned for it to happen. Max wrote the script, and it is how it went.
Perfect.
Well, sure.
So I'm hearing
Regardless, be happy. Your boy won.
I don't know what I'm supposed to say to that. I mean,
great plan. You made Lando villain, and Max is clearly the best, so...
Well,
it was our PR move.
I mean, and then you saw the follow up with Zach Brown, right? It was Zach and Max, and Matt and Zach was like, "Yeah, congratulations," and Max was like, "You said I couldn't do it in anything but the best car, but here I am. I did it in not the best car." Like that was literally his interview quote.
The best thing for all of the for Max is the ego boost that comes with winning the championship and having every single broadcaster ask every single driver, "So, what do you think?" And then it's just pure praise. It's pure praise.
He won in a car that clearly wasn't the best car.
Well, what I think, God, I can't remember who said this. I want to say it was Lando who said it, and he goes, the reason Max won this championship, I don't know, maybe it was Lewis. The reason Max won this championship is because, firstly, he has no weaknesses. He wins.
That was Lando.
He wins dominantly when he's in a dominant car, and he still wins or extracts the maximum when he's not in a dominant car.
Yeah.
So
the craziest thing about that, when I was watching him say that, you could tell like the pain in Lando's voice in saying that. There were some pauses in between there. You could tell he was just like,
yeah, he was like, "I can't believe I have to say this."
Yeah, well, it's because he knew he had a chance, and he blew it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even Max said that.
Yeah.
Well, to Lando's credit, though, a little bit, because I fault McLaren a lot for some of the errors made this year. It wasn't as much Lando. I think McLaren had a lot of faults this year as a team. But one thing that Max said when he was asked about the year, and he goes, "Well, we had that dominant period at the beginning, but even when we weren't dominant, we were able to extract so much every weekend, or at least I, because Checo, ball and chain. But the thing that helped him a lot, too, was teams throwing away points. It was stupid mistakes made by Ferrari, made by McLaren, made by Mercedes, disqualifications and stuff like that bring you up like one position, 3 points, which makes the difference at the end of a season." So...
You know what's crazy, though, too, is if you look back on, like, the past 6 races, Oscar outscored Lando in, like, 5 of the 6 races.
Yeah.
Which is, I understand strategy and stuff is involved, but it's kind of crazy. Like, if you're going to be, like, if you're going to be even contention for the championship, how can you not beat your own teammate? Like, if that makes sense. I know that's a little far-fetched, I guess, but, like, still, it's like,
it's a requirement.
You had the opportunities. Like Max was coming in 5th and 6th for like a couple of weeks there, and Lando came in 4th. Like he needs to be capitalizing on those opportunities, and he didn't.
Yeah.
So you know,
difference between a 4-time champion and a 2-time winner.
Yeah.
Well, 3-time winner.
Yeah, I don't. That's my only thing with Lando is that I feel like he and McLaren threw it away. Like, they had a chance. Like, they had a legitimate chance to win this.
Yeah.
And if you look back at, like, all the way back at, like, the beginning, right after the summer break, let's say, and you look at the stats, it's like, okay, he only needs 7 points per race to beat Max. Then that race, he's outscored by Max by 3 points. His next race, now he only needs 8 points per race to beat Max. And now he outscores Max by 12 points. So then it's like 7 again. And then it's back to 11. And then it's like, because it wasn't consistently like Lando was winning or at least finishing ahead of Max. He lost points to Max so many times, even when Max was driving, for lack of a better word, a shitty car. Like, it was terrible.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, even to his teammate. I mean, last time this happened to McLaren, I mean, was pretty recently. Jenson Button, Lewis Hamilton, they fought for a title. And then, of course, it was Alonso and Hamilton back in 2007. They tied for second in the championship and let Kimi Räikkönen sneak through for the win. It wasn't that close. But then also McLaren fell behind too. Like, they let Ferrari beat them. They let Mercedes come back. And McLaren, even though at one point they're clearly the best car, they kind of just fell behind. And I would say they're neck and neck with Red Bull, behind Ferrari and Mercedes most weekends now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is Ferrari's pretty close to them in the constructors. Carlos is very close in the drivers as well. Like,
first time since 2008, I think we're gonna do it.
Keep P2. Like, in what world does Max's closest championship contender not, like, because this is super, like, possible that he not only doesn't beat Max, but then he doesn't even get second, he gets third.
Yeah.
And at no point this season did Charles really fight with Max. Like, it was very few and far between, a couple races, or maybe they had a little bit of a tangle, but, like, for the most part, Ferrari were either well clear of the Red Bull or Red Bull were well clear of the Ferrari. They never had a weekend they were, like, super tight. So
that reminds me of like 2017 and 18. It was like every weekend was you'd show up to the track and be like, all right, who's faster at this track? And whoever was faster would clearly win the race. There was no 2021 style battle every race between two drivers. It was either Ferrari and Vettel are faster, or Hamilton and Mercedes are faster. And most weekends it was Hamilton, Mercedes are faster. And then that's how they won.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think next year it's going to be more like this end of the season where you don't know who's is faster. One of the things that James Hinchcliffe was saying was that every week you'll go to, like, an engineer for either any of the teams and be like, do you think you're quick? You're going to be quick this week in, like, say, Qatar. And they're like, yeah. And then it's like, more than likely this year, it's been the opposite. Like, Ferrari go to track and they think they're going to be great, and they're not. And McLaren is good. Or
that's what Mercedes said this weekend.
And Mercedes like, we're not going to be good this weekend. Even George said in the post-race press conference that he asked the team to switch out to an older engine for Vegas so he would have the good new engine for Qatar, because that's
crazy.
Quick. In hindsight, great thing that they didn't end up switching it, but they didn't expect to be quick, and they were quick in every session.
And they said it was like a mystery to them. They're like, we don't know why.
That team's been a mystery all year. Why are they fast? Like why do they have speed? It's almost an intangible. I mean, you gotta understand it though. It's like they're at the end of the day, they're Mercedes. Like, I mean,
the 1-2 was amazing.
Oh yeah, it's hard for us to like rationalize it when we've known, like, obviously Red Bull has a ball and chain, but like Ferrari and McLaren have been good double threats for most of the year.
Yeah,
but then Mercedes has just been kind of, I don't know, loosely good. Like, again, a 1-2 this weekend. They've done that a couple of times. Actually, 3 times this year, right?
And that puts George ahead in the championship, right?
Yes, George is ahead in the championship. I think this is the second time this year, but the first time George was disqualified.
Oh, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, when he got
That's crazy. I can't believe George is going to beat Lewis again. I think last time was 2022.
Well,
that was pretty clear. Right. This is a little bit closer, but
got 2 races.
Yeah, they're only separated by what, like 9 points, I think?
It's like 9 points. It's 2-7.
Hey, George Russell in equal machinery, you know.
There's a real chance if Russell has 2 really good weekends, he passes Sainz, actually.
Yeah. Well, there's also, though, the aspect to, like, I can't believe I'm going to defend Lewis Hamilton as a Max fan, whatever. There's also an aspect to Lewis's where Lewis literally, after Brazil, was so fed up that he was like, I don't want to come back. He said in an interview, I didn't want to come back to the team. I was
Ferrari
like,
driver Lewis Hamilton.
I think that as much as I don't really want to see it, because I think it'd be dangerous, I think that Lewis is just really not happy at Mercedes anymore. He's not.
Yeah.
He's just in that kind of, it's not working for him anymore.
Right.
And I think moving to Ferrari, new environment, new team, new fans makes some. I think it'll help. I think he'll be back to the Lewis of old. And like today, he had a good car. Well, I guess last night he had a good car, and you could tell that that
He
was
drove incredibly. Like, he was upset after qualifying, obviously, but 10th to 2nd, driver of the day, definitely deserved.
Big
like
time.
10th to 2nd. Like only Lewis Hamilton or like a Max Verstappen will get out of the car going from 10th to 2nd and be pissed at yourself because you did bad in qualifying the day before and you could have won this race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Sorry. I cannot wait to see this battle between Lewis and George in the coming years. I think this is gonna be insane.
like
and
when
How many
Mercedes-
years? How many more years does Lewis have?
Well, probably like I don't know. I'll give it like 2 or 3 max.
when you say
but
Lewis
still.
and George, you mean like Lewis and George like from different like in different teams?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like not teammates, how that's gonna play out.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
really curious what Lewis and Charles is going to look like because the rumors that I heard were just that he didn't want to be a number one driver. He just wanted to be treated equally in terms of upgrades, like 50-50 on upgrades and media and this and that, whatever. So I'm really curious as to what that like teammate relationship is going to look like next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
it isn't great right now, but that's mostly because of the team. Like, Leclerc was just screaming at the
Dude,
team of like,
Leclerc-
why didn't you tell him to slow down? Try again in Spanish was a crazy line.
And
Can't
Carlos
believe he
having to
said that.
he was a little unhinged
Yeah.
Yeah.
this
and
weekend.
Carlos having to come in late for the pits with his team being
Carlos was so mad
sleep.
when 'cause
Yeah.
he came on the radio like 10 times saying, I want to pit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, the lap that he said, like the lap that I want to say it was the lap that he went over the pit entry and then
Yeah.
came
Yeah.
back out,
Yep.
was the lap that everybody pitted that he should have pitted on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Ferrari's response was, "We were not ready." It's
Yeah.
like, bro.
I thought
Like-
at first
It's your whole job to be ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought at first, I don't know about y'all, but it seems like in the battle that he was trying to bait Lewis into going in and it worked, and then I saw the radio and it was like, oh no, that was actually a mistake.
Yeah, that was not planned. Yeah, that was not a 4D chess move. That was like, we're playing checkers and we just dropped the board on the floor.
And it's like, I feel like Carlos could have been at least second had they pitted on the right laps for both the pit
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyways, let's rewind a little bit and get into some of the headlines from this week. Firstly, I want to know what you guys thought about the special liveries for this weekend. The Alpine that finally they just grabbed some paint and threw it on the car. It's not black. anymore.
Alpine looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Fine, yeah.
They are
They need to keep it.
released at Top Golf and the Wicked. I want to say it's Wicked themed. Steak.
Is that what it
I
was?
think it was. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
it was.
steak. I think it was. I mean,
Yeah.
it looked pretty good. Looked better than the highlighter yellow green.
Yeah.
I don't know.
fine.
I might actually like the other one better. Not gonna lie.
Actually, wait. I'm just
The
realizing
flames
the
are
connection.
okay, but it's a little
I
cheesy
think-
to me.
I think Alpine and Steak did it on purpose because the two colors of Wicked are what's called pink and green. I think it was a sponsorship thing. I remember seeing that online.
Seeing it, but I don't remember if that was official from the teams or if that was someone that made that.
Oh, really? Oh, shoot. I thought it was official. Damn.
I don't
What?
remember. That's what I'm saying. It could have been,
Yeah.
That would be
but I
insane.
don't remember.
Yeah.
A 2-team collab would be pretty cool.
The one we're missing is they forgot the throwback livery Red Bull. They left it behind because they're losing the championship, the team's championship. So they decided no more special liveries. We got to save paint and cost.
Well,
I really-
they've had to save cost a lot recently. They don't
Yeah.
even have a Monza/Vegas spec rear wing at all. So they forgot it. I loved this rumor. It was the funniest thing ever.
Yeah.
Well,
I
they,
have so
explain
many
it.
questions.
it doesn't exist. They didn't forget it.
Yeah.
It does not exist. They didn't make it. They said, you know what? It's only 2 races. We'll make do with what we have.
Yeah.
So like my question is, and this is not me being a Red Bull hater. I'm strictly curious. Are they allowed to do what they did to the wing? Like, is that legal?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
okay,
I mean, like,
'cause like,
the way they did.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
Oh,
because they're not going to have to use that rear wing anymore.
okay,
Yeah.
So they literally
like,
was like, fuck
yeah.
it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But
I
we
guess.
didn't do anything with this.
Yeah, but Red Bull's livery was super cool. It's a throwback to when Vettel won his 4th world championship. Like, same livery style. Like, that would have been so cool. Have another 4-time world champion win in the car that looks almost the same.
Wait, is this like a legit thing? Like, this is real? Like, this
Yeah,
is
Red Bull were supposed to bring a throwback livery.
They forgot at home to make room
Oh.
for Max Verstappen t-shirts. Which
Oh, of course.
That too. But
Yeah.
have you seen the RB merch? Like, the RB livery was good, but the merch was super cool. Like, it was actually really awesome.
The livery just reminded me of a mermaid, and I had no idea why it was on the biggest street circuit.
That is totally fair.
Speaking of the Max t-shirts, I bet the Lando t-shirts are already on their way to Somalia right now.
Oh my gosh. That's
They didn't even make them. They knew he would lose.
I love that that's a thing. I think it's so funny. They definitely did not make those. The design has been made, but they did not print them.
No.
Yeah.
I would hope not.
Yeah. Well, it happens in other sports all the time with like MLB and MFL where they make like other teams' jerseys.
Yeah, well, you have to, like, especially with like the World Series, you have to make them before the series is over.
Yeah.
But
they make both. They make both, and then whatever doesn't go, they just
send it to charity.
Ship it on.
Yeah.
South Sudan.
It's a good, I guess.
Yeah.
Speaking of RB, though, Yuki was almost denied entry into the States, which I thought was so funny.
That was crazy. Did we even know what actually
twice before?
What?
He's been here twice before. So, like,
this year.
To have him be, exactly. To have him be denied was kind of funny.
He just got hassled by, like, TSA, or?
Yeah.
Hassled on entry. I guess it's not TSA, because TSA is like...
Is it customs?
Yeah, it was border control. Yeah, it was
customs.
TSA.
All right.
And they were, essentially, I think they asked him, like, the basic questions, like, how much do you make? Where are you from? Like, who are you? Stuff like that. And the funniest part to me was I don't know if this is confirmed or just a rumor, the fact that he wasn't allowed to make a phone call and like the team to like confirm his identity. Cause like literally, I don't know the other thing I want to understand, because I still didn't see, is where did he arrive? Because I understand it if he arrived in like the middle of nowhere. Like if he had arrived in State College, I would have been like, yeah, where are you coming from, buddy? What are you doing? But if he arrived in Vegas or in LA for the Vegas Grand Prix, I feel like that should be basic common knowledge.
You could have probably pulled up like the F1 like website and been like, "There I am," like in slotted to practice tomorrow. Like,
I don't know. I think I thought it was so funny.
Apparently, he was interrogated for like an hour. Like they took him into a separate room to like question him.
I can just imagine Yuki being interrogated too. Dude was probably dropping
innocent looking guy ever.
And he's tiny too, and so he's like getting agitated. So funny.
Angry little elf.
Funny. Yes.
Little elf. That was good.
I wonder if they asked where his parents. Like maybe they thought he was a kid unaccompanied.
I'm surprised they haven't done a video yet of like, have you seen the TikToks recently that it's like, oh, I'm not going to see my 5'2" friend until after Christmas. She has to go help Santa.
Oh,
like with an elf. I'm surprised they haven't done that yet.
That is crazy.
It's like the RB social media team is like, here, Yuki, step in this box. And the box says on the side of it, send to North Pole. Like that would
Polar
do numbers
Express.
on Instagram, but they would never do it.
Sometimes it being your own people.
Anyways, end of the season is approaching, unfortunately. Two things.
It's still going?
What?
It's still going?
Yeah, Ferrari have a championship to win. You should know about your hat. Like, come on.
Educated.
You're right.
What is happening?
Educated. Anyways, there was more stuff going on this weekend in the press conference with the team principals, with Toto Wolff and Fred Vasseur talking about the postseason test and the fact that Ferrari let Carlos Sainz go and do the Williams postseason test, but Mercedes is not going to let Lewis Hamilton do it.
Yeah.
And just straight up dropped, yeah, he has media duties. Like, what you want me to do?
Media duties.
Yeah.
That's crazy. AKA, he's at home chilling with his dog.
Roscoe.
There's
Roscoe
some,
drive the car.
yeah.
Yes.
Let Roscoe drive the car. I love that. That's so funny. But I thought it was really funny. And then also, Arthur is going to drive an FP1 for Abu Dhabi, which is very fun.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Here's
There
the
you go.
ultimate question. I think
Oh,
it's on the live show, if anybody watched that. What is the name going to be on the side graphic? Because they're both Leclerc.
would think they would
NASCAR
go
does
with-
this occasionally, because we have the two Bush brothers that race. So it would be the first letter of their first name, and then the rest of their last name. That would be my guess.
Okay.
A Leclerc, C
Yeah.
Leclerc.
So would it just be, because Leclerc, Charles is always on the grid. So I'm assuming he would just keep his. His would still be LEC, and then Arthur's would be ALE.
No,
It
I think
might,
would be
because that's
I
how they
forgot
did it.
They abbreviate it. I think it would be
They abbreviate
ALEC, CLEC.
Last time this happened was with the Schumacher brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ralph was RSC and Michael was MSC.
Shout out Tristan's
Mm.
Throwback Thursday video. Yup.
Yes.
whoop whoop. Shameless plug.
Shameless plug.
I loved that video. That was great.
That was a good one. I was very happy to make that one.
I was so funny.
Perez disliked it. Well, Perez's dad, anyways. But
Oh.
When this, oh god, I can't. When this podcast first started, you guys used to send me you'd send me oh, what do you think of this idea? Or I would suggest something in the group chat or whatever. Now you just we're in the flow and everything, and people just you just do it. But it was so funny because Tristan texted me, he goes, "Hey, I have an idea." I was like, "What, you just gonna leave me hanging?" I was in the middle of class and I was like,
I was in the middle of class too. I was literally sat there just zoned in on a presentation, and I was like, "That's a great idea." That's exactly what I was doing.
Wait, Professor, you're a genius.
Well, no. I was not thinking about what the professor was saying at all.
No,
I was thinking
no,
about
yeah.
Throwback Thursday.
"Okay."
I know, I
Oh,
texted
man.
Marina right away because I was really excited. I wanted to see what she had to say.
Anyways, speaking of, you mentioned Papa Perez. Dude,
Papa
man
Perez.
woke up and he chose violence.
He sure did.
So firstly, I'm gonna read these exact statements because I just think they're so funny. Firstly, well, the first one is funny. He said, "I'm not Mr. Stroll, as in Lawrence Stroll. I don't have the money to buy a Formula One team for my son. Checo is there because of himself. No, he's there because he has good sponsors. That's why he's there."
Boom.
I was literally listening to this interview. I was like, first of all, who gave him the ability to talk on ESPN? Because this is where this was. Why
This is
the
where the
hell
mistake
he
was
on
made.
ESPN F1 is the forgotten department of ESPN. Since
really
they start
is.
carrying the race, they're well, we need at least somebody to write this stuff. And they just assign whoever they put content out.
And it's Danica Patrick.
Oh, goodness gracious.
That's crazy, too.
That one might be even worse. But I was like, dude, I don't know what races you've been watching because Checo is literally a ball and chain. His stats are stupid. And you know full well that the only reason he's there is because he has sponsorship money. So I don't know what you're talking about.
That's true.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
He's got the Kit Kat money.
yeah.
Oh, the official candy bar of Formula
Well,
One.
one.
Yeah, yeah.
The
I'm
Kit
surprised I
Kat?
haven't seen a Kit Kat that says that yet.
Oh,
I
I'm
thought
sure
they
there
would
will
have
be.
rolled
Just
one
wait.
out already.
Have them?
We need to see it.
I'm assuming they would roll one out in Europe.
More than
First.
likely.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I haven't seen it on TikTok or anything.
Yeah.
Well, there's this
Yeah.
awesome picture I see of Checo Perez with the car in the wall, and it says, "Have a break, have a Kit Kat."
Oh.
So I just
Oh my God.
That's
It's
pretty
crazy.
good. First thing that comes up on Google
That is
Images.
so good.
That's basically you're not you when you're hungry. Have a Snickers. Oh my goodness,
Oh, yeah.
that's
That is
What's
hilarious.
the?
Funny.
So what do we think the special edition Kit Kat's gonna look like for Checo Perez?
Well, it's gonna become pre-broken, Okay, so it's gonna be. This is so mean.
That's so funny.
If Sergio Perez ever runs into any of us in public and like for some reason he's seen our content online, he's like, "Wait a minute, I'm not talking to you."
It's like
One
never,
day.
You've been yelling at me for years.
in the paddock because
Yeah.
definitely not like Checo's gonna be like, wait, not you. I'm not talking to you.
Comes up with the Sky Sports mic. Wait, you?
It's been years.
Anyways, the more serious thing he said, which was horrible. I can't believe he said this, but he said they, as in the media, should at least apologize. There's a driver who was a Formula One driver turned journalist. He first said that Checo was already at a Red Bull. The following week, he came out of the closet. I don't know if he was in love with Checo. I mean, do you understand it? There are so many strange things going on. You no longer know if he is a journalist, a woman, a gentleman, but his opinion doesn't matter now because Checo Perez.
Golly.
That's strange.
That's
there is no way you just said that.
Literally.
Dude was really out
That's
of pocket with
crazy.
that one. That's
And then Ralf Schumacher responded and said, as a father, I would 100% try to back my son. Different in style, but we know Papa Perez and his emotions. I'm not mad, but I think results on track would serve as a better argument.
That's
Yeah,
straight to
that's-
the point.
Mic drop.
Literally.
I was gonna say that's putting it lightly too.
Literally,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, no, he could have gone way
He could've
deeper.
been way worse. And he
Uh-huh.
was just so respectful with it.
That's
Yeah,
just the
Because it was
German way
like
of
a personal
responding
attack
to
on
it.
him.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he just said, no, he's defending his son, but I think we need to look at his results.
That was literally the best German response to that possible.
Yeah.
No,
No, let's
actually.
talk about the facts. He's defending his son. That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's all the headlines, actually, surprisingly. But
Oh,
before we
what about Andretti?
oh my god, did I skip Andretti?
They're just
Andretti.
rumors.
Oh my
But
god,
yes,
the Andretti rumors.
they're back. I thought they were done for.
They're
Deal
back.
11th team on the grid for 2026? Question
Yeah,
mark?
Apparently next week we'll know.
I was gonna say
Well, we've been
I keep on
told.
saying that. Yeah, I keep on saying that it's gonna happen, but
I want to know, Jason, you explained it earlier. I want you to explain it because it's not actually Andretti, technically.
Yeah, so apparently it's going to be the Cadillac GM racing team, but Andretti, since they already have all the infrastructure built and the team built and experience needed, Andretti's going to run it. Kind of exactly like what Ferrari does in WEC and Le Mans. They own the team and they fund the team and they sponsor the team, but AF Course, experienced endurance championship team, actually run it.
Yeah.
And this is because Michael Andretti has stepped down as CEO of Andretti Motorsport. He's just an owner now. And apparently the Andretti name's going to be off the car, which I wonder if that was a deal breaker. Like maybe Formula One really didn't like
Probably.
Andretti, and now it's going to be GM Racing and not
yeah.
Andretti Racing. Also, Michael is gone. Michael hated F1 kind of, even though he wants to be in it so bad.
Yeah.
So him stepping down might help.
Yeah.
So apparently that was it. It just took Michael be able to step down. This all comes from words apparently from the new CEO, Dan Towers. He runs Andretti, the Andretti organization now, and he was at the Grand Prix saying this kind of stuff. So
Mm.
So interesting.
Basically, Cadillac outsourced an F1 team.
yes.
Basically. The
Yeah.
other thing that I think is so interesting is like, how did we go from the narrative being that F1 just didn't want an 11th team to now the narrative being we just didn't want Andretti?
I was gonna say, yeah.
I think it's because of
More
GM.
manufacturers, GM, Cadillac, whatever.
They
Well,
want
Yeah.
GM, but they don't want Andretti.
but did you hear the rumor that they're not even going to be their own engine manufacturer?
Yeah, at
Well, yeah,
least
they're
until
gonna pick one.
2028.
Yeah.
They need to build an
They're
engine.
definitely
That's
not
gonna
ready
be-
for it.
I'm very curious now who GM's gonna pick for their engine supplier because it's not like
It's
they have.
Ferrari.
You think
Can't be
so?
Alpine.
It
It's
should
probably
be
gonna be
Yeah.
Ferrari, if I had to guess.
Yeah. Because I mean,
Uh,
obviously GM doesn't have ties with any of them.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
They
No,
might-
they really don't.
they might have like a strategic relationship with Haas, maybe, but like in some,
Toyota though.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just pulling.
I don't know.
pulling it
Yeah,
strings.
I heard rumors that it was Ferrari. It was going to be.
Yeah.
It said Ferrari will be the engine manufacturer for the 11th team.
Yeah, because Ferrari's gonna
Mm.
lose Sauber
That's true.
Right.
after
Yeah.
next year. So
And
Okay.
Mercedes will supply engines to Alpine. So they got
yeah, so the next choice has to be Ferrari
exactly.
or Honda. It could be Honda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I was just thinking about too. We could eventually maybe see. Well, it wouldn't be maybe Chevy so much, but GM, same thing. GM versus Ford in Formula One.
Oh, I forgot about that. Ford, Red Bull.
baby.
Yeah.
Hey, what if
Ford,
we keep a
Ferrari,
Red
and
Bull deal?
GM.
What if Red Bull supplies GM?
I hope not. I'd
Mhm.
really dislike Red Bull if that was the case.
Well, that wouldn't make sense because GM and Ford. So actually, that makes no sense at all. No, yeah, that won't happen.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Red Bull needs to get their engine stuff together because there's so many races this year where Max could have finished higher than he did, but he had to take an engine penalty.
It's
Yeah.
actually interesting seeing it in Vegas. Like he had a real hard time getting past the Ferraris. Just in like even with
Well, he had no engine and no rear wing.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a double combo.
not exactly the easiest thing. I was actually very surprised with the Ferrari's pace at the end of the race because they seemed slow. I don't want to say slow at the beginning, but
Yeah.
they were much slower than the Mercedes, and so I wasn't expecting them to come get past Max with that.
Yeah.
ability.
It
But
was-
anyway,
yeah.
go for it. What were you
Oh,
saying?
sorry. No, I was just gonna say, Charles was even. I think it was Charles. Yeah, was saying that like he overran the tires in the first stint, I believe.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that didn't help. But then,
But even the commentators were saying that because he dropped
yeah,
so fast.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
the weird thing to me about it is that we've seen McLaren. I guess this wasn't really expecting it from Ferrari. They actually did better on used tires than new ones. At least towards the end of the race.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's move into where we're going to talk about it. Move into the race weekend. There was one. Well, firstly, we can get out of the way. Perez out in Q1. Shocker
Yeah.
there. Oh my god, it happens every weekend.
It's becoming a topic we don't even need to talk about. Like
No,
you know what I mean?
It's not a
It's-
topic conversation. It's just like let's mention this.
yeah.
Because the bigger topic was the two. This sounds so bad. The two major moments for Franco Colapinto. Him saying that if they tested, I think it was him that said if they tested everybody for weed right now, they would all come back positive because they could all smell
Yeah,
it.
Franco. Yeah. Yep.
And him crashing at 50 Gs
Yeah, it's
during
crazy.
qualifying.
That's
It's a big wreck.
I can't believe he
Yeah.
was cleared to race.
yeah, low
Yeah.
key.
That he had a car to race in. That's
Yeah,
the
too.
Yep.
Yeah. Good for Williams, man.
Did you
Golly.
see the immediate flash to the Williams
Oh,
garage
mechanics.
that happened? The mechanics
Yes.
actually crying. He was like,
Yeah.
please.
Man, if they don't get a race after this race, I don't know, man.
Literally.
Yeah, they deserve a bonus this year.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure.
A bonus that they're
Because-
not gonna get.
No, because they don't have the money to get it.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true.
So, I don't know. It was a big crash. And the problem is, unlike some of the other crashes, I don't want to say unlike, because I feel like most crashes are a lot to do with driver error. Some of them are like a little bit less on the driver and more on like
Yeah.
the car. But this
Yeah.
one was pure driver error. Like they said it on the commentators were talking about it. They're like, this was so sad because it was pure driver error. Like that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Let's get into the race. How did you feel about Charles overtaking in the beginning?
Great move
I thought it
from
was great.
Masterclass yet again.
Yeah.
Ferrari does it again.
You know,
For like 2
had
seconds.
to nullify the risk of Gasly doing something crazy. So that was pretty easy. Great move.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wow.
almost challenging George for the win, although I don't know how. They're just so fast. Ferrari chewed their tires and Mercedes didn't. So
But
that
I
made the
don't know
difference.
why people are, not to like, this isn't specifically at you. I don't know if people are surprised that Mercedes were good. Mercedes have been good at every place that it's been rainy or cold. They
Yeah.
were good in Canada. They were good in Spa. They were good in Silverstone. All of those places where track was cold. Like as soon as I saw people in puffer jackets at 50 degrees, I was like, bruh. But still, as soon as I saw for jackets, I was like, probably going to be a good track for Mercedes.
Yeah.
So, also, as soon as they on a Saturday, I guess it was on Friday, on FP and during FP3 were like still at the top of the timing sheets, I was like, they didn't make that stupid mistake they always make, which is make changes from Friday to Saturday, or in this case, Thursday to Friday.
Just
that
nuke
totally
the car.
ruin their plan. Like, I don't understand what they do, but it's always terrible.
Mhm.
They're learning. It's a beautiful
They're
thing.
adapting.
Well, Steven, how'd you feel about Oscar's false start?
It was, I don't know. I mean, I get it. Just stuff happens. I mean, I was talking to Jason about this before the pod. I think even the commentators were like, it's a little rough, but I mean, I get it. He was over the line and he was to the left a little bit. So, I mean, it's fair. I don't really have any issues with it.
That's what Zach Brown said. Zach Brown said, well, he didn't jump the start. He was just slightly ahead, like in front of it, but still, he was in front of the line, but still, I think, inside the box is what he said.
Yeah.
And
He was
so
just...
he said it was harsh, but there was nothing to like protest it because there's literally nothing to protest. Like, he was outside his box.
Right.
Like,
And he even said after the race, like, it didn't hurt him all that much. Like, he still
No,
finished
it really
in the top
didn't.
10.
He still finished right where you thought he would.
What was his penalty? Like, what was the
5-second penalty?
Yeah, only 5 seconds.
He basically did a drive-through.
Yeah.
Stop.
Speaking of drive-through, did you see Esteban Ocon actually do a drive-through?
No.
Why?
He drives into the pits. The team isn't ready. So instead of stopping in his grid box and just waiting for the team to get the tires, he exited the pits and went around again and then came back into the pits.
That's crazy.
So
he literally
gave himself a drive-through penalty.
That is crazy.
Can't believe he didn't stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. Not to be confused with Carlos Sainz being called into the pits and then at the last second, stay out, and him crossing the pit entry line and himself back onto the track.
Yeah, that was crazy because the whole time he kept saying, I don't know if I can last. It's not gonna last. I need to pit now. And the team's just like, no, you're not pitting now.
No.
I mean, it ended up being the right call. He ended up finishing, getting third and beating Leclerc, but still,
but I think
kind of crazy.
When he said
he was set to follow in Lewis into pits, and then last second the team is like, stay out, and he's like, why? And they're like, we weren't ready.
Yeah, and that's it.
He's like, he said over radio, wake up, be ready, be better.
Yeah. I've never heard that aggression from Carlos like that before. That was kind of crazy to me.
Ferrari's strategy this weekend was just like, I don't understand.
Even though it was bad, it still worked out. They still were the second best team.
Ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, second and third. That's where they belong.
Orders for. In what was the point?
Experimentation.
The team orders was for Sainz to stay behind Leclerc because they knew they were gonna lock up second and third, but Sainz attacked anyways. Leclerc was like trying Spanish. He's not listening, and so not really big team orders, just kind of like a suggestion. I don't know.
Do we think this? Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, do we think this will get worse with Lewis coming into the team?
No, it's gonna reset it.
Okay.
Because what's even crazier is after a race, Leclerc was so mad. He was like, I'm always the nice guy. I'm always giving up the position. I can't believe this. Why do you let this happen? They probably told Leclerc, don't fight. Sainz isn't gonna fight. And then Sainz overtook him, and Leclerc was still like, are you kidding me? I could have fought.
Yeah. I got a text from Christina that was like, did I just hear that right? Am I the only one that heard what Charles just said?
Yeah, he was really mad.
I think it's funny the amount of people that were mad after the race. Like, I'm sure Lando was upset. I don't want to say mad, but he was upset. Lost championship.
Not mad, just disappointed. The classic.
P2 and was mad because if he had qualified better, he thinks he could have won the race.
Yeah, probably.
Like, everybody was pissed off. I was like, can we chill?
Except for George.
Except for one, two guys.
Driver, George Russell.
Yeah.
For George. Who, by the way, drove a spectacular race. Like, what
he
a race.
did.
Stop
George,
it.
tell me if I'm wrong, but he's like arguably top 3 like biggest dopes that could have won this race. Like if anybody could win Vegas, like come on.
Yeah, he
It'd be
gives
George
great Gatsby vibes.
It kind of
Oh my
does a
gosh.
little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it was so funny because he just kept singing, not singing, but kept saying Las Vegas on the team radio, and I
Yeah,
was
that's what I'm saying. He said it as he ran towards the team for like the
Oh my
celebration picture. He
gosh.
goes, Las Vegas.
Man,
also he kept getting asked about the party. He's like, "Where's the party?" And then he would ask, like, he in the press conference, he goes, "I don't know. Ask this guy, Lewis. He probably knows the party scene better than I do."
man, I'll tell you what,
That's
George and
hilarious.
Yeah,
Fernando
with
about
his non-alcoholic tequila, I'm sure he knows the party scene.
Hey, all I'm saying is George and Fernando are about to have a ball.
Oh yeah, Fernando.
Oh yeah, I
knows
forgot
how
about
party
that.
is.
That's crazy that George and Fernando hang out
George's
like
gonna
that.
be partying, and Fernando's gonna be drinking his sorrows.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh.
Yeah,
Alonso has had the worst of seasons.
That's been rough.
yeah.
The
Rookie
worst.
Fernando.
He's had worse, but like it's just it's so sad.
He can't do anything.
And he
Yeah.
keeps finishing like 11th, like just outside the points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
It
last time this
almost-
happened, he just left F1, won Le Mans twice, and showed back up.
That's such a
Like-
flex. I feel like Max is gonna go down that road at some point. He's
I
just
don't
gonna,
think Max will come back. That's the difference. When
well,
Max
that's
is done,
probably true.
he's done.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. I also another guy who is going to be drinking his sorrows is Pierre
Oh
Gasly.
boy. Oh, poor guy.
That was pretty sad.
Epic
Yeah.
qualifying performance, and then all of a sudden, and the funniest part to me, which if anything about it can be funny, was that he goes, "I have no power," and the team was like, "We're checking," and they come back to him like, "Everything looks fine," and he goes,
Yeah.
"Engine is smoking." Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah. I was
say,
gonna say.
about
the
that.
camera panned back to him, and there was just a cloud of smoke behind his car. It's like, oh yeah, we don't see anything. Use your eyes. Maybe that'll help. I mean,
It's like, oh, sorry, we're looking at Esteban. My bad.
It's like it was so. And then Williams, I didn't see. Did you see smoke on Alex's car?
No.
I didn't see
I didn't
him.
see
No,
anything. I
apparently he
just
had
looked
issues.
after. I watched him come into the pits, and then that was it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, last little thingy
Mm.
about Perez before I like erase his name from my memory. Actually wasn't that big of a bum. He's
No.
point, guys. He scored
1 point.
He did. He also
And-
Who did he beat?
he had a double overtake.
yes, he
He
did.
beat
Yeah.
Fernando Alonso, Kevin Magnussen, and Zhou Guanyu for that 10th place.
You know what's funny about the double overtake? So if he did it against what was it, K Mag and
Liam
Liam,
Lawson.
Liam
right.
Lawson.
Yeah.
They did against Lawson and K Mag, and you kind of, if you actually, they did his onboard, and if you look at his onboard going into the corner, he almost looks like he's not like he's like, oh, this isn't gonna go well. Doesn't look like confident, if that makes sense. Very realistically, could have been the only red flag we saw. Like, or
I'm surprised
Could
it
you
didn't come
imagine
together. That would have
if
made the
Ch-
race a lot more
I was
exciting.
gonna say, could you imagine if Checo just ruined it for Max one more time?
No, you know what the problem is?
Wasn't
with-
there a video of Max after qualifying looking at the timing screens and then
That's-
him looking down the screen and then supposedly seeing Perez where he's like, and he like walks away from the screen angry.
Like,
Like,
You see, he takes 2 steps and then he comes back and goes,
wait, that's real.
Yes.
Oh my god.
That's the real
That's
video.
amazing.
Such a Max disgusted at qualifying is right after qualifying. He
I
looks
don't know if that
from the
was
top and all the way down until he reaches like the bottom half. And
I
it's-
don't know if it was him looking at Checo, but it was definitely him looking at the lap times.
Who else would
Yeah.
he be looking at though? Who else would we be looking for on that screen where he would shake his head? Like obviously not Norris because Norris got 6th.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
trying to find it.
Yeah. We're Checo, man.
Because it's so funny. Look,
Yeah, watch. There he is. He's looking down the screen and he like does a double take at the bottom and like gives an angry look on his face.
It's like, damn,
Oh man.
Jesus.
You just see Christian Horner come up behind him, just give him a little pat in the back.
Like he just does a double take. He's like, "What the hell?"
It's okay to be angry, Max. That's what it says.
It's like, I just, if you took the points Max had and doubles it, Red Bull was leading the constructors by so much at this point,
Oh yeah.
Now they're in third.
Yeah.
and they're safe from Mercedes by like not that many points.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. How far is Mercedes behind all
They're like
this?
100 points behind them.
Oh, okay.
Hey, it's still possible.
It's very
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, but you need like a Mercedes 1-2 every race.
Yeah.
No,
But-
Max
he
to be
doesn't have that. He doesn't
non-existent.
have enough. So it's what? You have 20. You need the fastest laps to be 26 and 18. There's 88 points plus 8 and 7 in this. No, you don't have enough.
No.
Oh,
They'd miss out by like 2 points if they got first and second in every race with the first and second in the sprint too.
Damn.
wow.
Well, so it happens.
So
Well, Yuki Tsunoda beat Perez, so that's a win.
It is.
And Haas are now in 6th in the
I
championship.
mean, there's no better proof to how bad Checo is than to see that most of the time he's racing against the RBs.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
He's always having
Yep.
a duel with the RBs.
He's racing against the RBs every time. It's him. Speaking of the RBs, actually, did you see Yuki taking out the?
I was gonna bring that up. Yes. Yes.
What
Did
did
you
he
see what
do?
he said?
He goes, "I was shitting myself."
Yes.
And he goes,
Oh,
and
I
he
know
goes,
that.
because he was with Sky Sports. He's like, apologies. I'm sure he was like, I'm
Oh.
sure he got flashbacks. He's like, no community service, please, no,
Ah.
please.
What did he
Because he
talk
hit the
about?
speed limit sign in the pit lane. Like, he completely
Oh.
ran it over.
Ran it
Yeah.
over on the exit with was that Esteban?
It must
Yeah.
have been, yeah.
This wasn't
it
during
must
the
have been.
race, was it?
Yes.
Oh, it
Yeah.
was. Oh, okay.
He came into the pits and he came out kind of fighting with Esteban Ocon. Or
Interesting.
one of them. I'm assuming it was Ocon. And he just runs right over the pit exit. This pit exit, the speed thing. And then he like ran right over it. Then on Sky, like you said on Sky Sports, he goes,
Yeah.
"Dude, I'm shitting myself." and Will Buxton goes, "Well, brown flag for Yuki Tsunoda on the exit."
Well, you heard it here first, folks. We got a brown flag.
Brown flag.
That's
Unreal.
crazy.
So
He
fun.
gets track limits, but it's a brown flag.
Yeah. Guys, how do we feel about the car ride to the podium this year?
The
I
what?
like that Max got his own car at GP.
Yeah, I thought that
That
was
was
cool.
pretty funny.
I like he was
That was
playing
really
with the buttons. He was playing
Yes,
having a
he
good
was
time with
like
the buttons.
discovering the car. He was like,
Yeah,
"I have a tray table here," and he pulls out and he puts his Red Bull can on it.
hits
He's
the
like,
mic.
why don't I have
gosh.
this?
Yeah.
What's the weirdest part is that they don't have like a van or something, like one of those expensive Mercedes like Sprinter vans. They
Yeah.
have this Rolls Royce that can't sit 3 in the rear seat. It can only sit 2.
They got a fan?
And there's always got to be a driver in the middle seat. So it's 3 F1 drivers like smushed together in
Yeah.
the back of the Rolls Royce with an international TV camera pointed right at
Right
them.
at him.
Oh my
It's like,
gosh.
what other situation are you gonna get that? Like,
Yeah. Well,
so
that was the
silly.
funny part because they looked so tight in there. But then if you looked at the other car, there was Max and GP were sitting like towards opposite sides. They were chilling. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was almost like he
literally.
didn't want to be in the podium, so you didn't have to sit in the smush car.
yeah. Then he walked. Did you see him walk over to like the FIA people or whatever, or the F1 people that were like on the was the pitch straight or whatever? And he goes, "Do I have to go to that? Is this car for me?"
Oh
I
my
didn't get it
gosh.
because he goes all the way in the car and he goes all the way and does that like stupid interview. I don't understand why GP was there. He goes all the way, does the interview, and then he wasn't like the commentators on Sky Sports said he was gonna go on the podium, and I was like, he's not on the podium though.
No.
So
Yeah.
I bet he brought GP with him because he was like, I don't want to do this shit alone. Come on. Get
Yeah.
the car.
Yeah.
it's me.
Yeah.
But
Also,
Exactly.
I was gonna say, I don't know if we're gonna talk about this. The new race director littering on Las Vegas.
Oh
I
yeah.
did see that. You guys
What
said
a
Yeah.
crazy thing. First day on the job, on the
That is
track
so
in front of
bad.
a grandstand, driving the official Formula One medical car with all the branding in uniform, steps out and then throws something on the.
Could have just kept it in the car. I don't know why he did that.
However,
Mm-mm.
so people might not be happy with him for littering, but the drivers seemed happy with him.
That's good at least.
Apparently, they went after Friday. They asked for some changes, and they got back to the track. They were made for Saturday
good.
or from Thursday to Friday or whatever.
Yeah.
So I guess
That's why George won. He's the president of GDPA, and he knows how to rig the track to his advantage.
There you go.
It's so funny. Constant questions about like, did you guys want him to leave? In like the pre weekend stuff. Where they're like, did you want him to leave or how did you find out? Charles goes, I found out on Instagram. I was like, how do you not tell your drivers that their race director is changing?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like
How do the teams not tell them? Like, I feel like the team should know, obviously, right away. But, like, the team should be the ones to tell the drivers.
But realistically, if not the teams, the GPDA should have a seat at the table for these kind of discussions.
Yes. Yeah, sure.
Like, they're the ones that are most impacted. So, like,
Yeah.
somebody should have known. Like, it shouldn't have been an internal FIA thing. Like, the drivers should not have found out. At the very least, George should have known as the GPDA president. So you can relay that information over their WhatsApp group chat instead of Instagram. But
the WhatsApp. Do you think who is it? Who's missing? Oh, do you think Daniel Ricciardo's still in the WhatsApp?
there's no way.
Imagine getting booted from the WhatsApp. I've seen those memes before, like George Russell booting people from the WhatsApp.
Here's the thing, though.
He'd be like, "Thank you, Daniel. You've been such a great driver," and then booted. And welcome back, Liam Lawson.
George is the admin of the group chat.
Yeah.
No, he is.
I was gonna say this year when Liam came, one of the questions they asked was if he was added to the group chat. He goes, "I was this year, but I wasn't last year."
Oh.
And George said he was gonna add me and then never did. And I was like, "Oh,
George must have been a hall monitor as a kid. I swear. I could totally see that.
Oh." Anyways, quick plug that this is the second time Max has won a championship on a Saturday.
Wow, very efficient.
Yes, he doesn't even wait till the end of the weekend.
Yeah. Hey, he's got. It's like not to bring the Patriots back into this. I know. I'm sure you guys are tired of this, but the thing, like, they always talk about how like Patriots fans would plan their Sundays or plan their weeks because they knew they were going to the AFC Championship or the Super Bowl, so they would plan months in advance because they knew that they'd have that week off. It's the same thing here.
I mean, it was a very real thing then. It's a very real thing now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think it's so like crazy how much the championship was hyped. In terms of it's going to go down to the wire, it's going to go down to Abu Dhabi, and Max still was able to win it early.
It's a very anticlimactic ending.
It's like McLaren. Well, McLaren did fall off. Like they did. Like I said before, they let Ferrari and. Oh wait, sorry, my mic messed up. They let Ferrari and Mercedes ahead of them, so they're just not winning anymore.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. McLaren fell off a cliff recently. It's almost
Red
Bull, like what happened to Red Bull in a way.
Yeah, kind of.
I just hope it doesn't carry into next season. That's all I'm saying.
Here's the thing, though, right? We keep talking about next year and it's going to be great and stuff, but the last time we said that about McLaren, they started this year so like they weren't terrible, but like they were not great.
No.
Yeah, last couple of years has been like that.
Yeah, I mean it's been the development throughout the season.
Exactly. That's
that
what doing them all the favors is like them having this like mid-season or early in the season development.
Yeah.
But like realistically, if next year is the way people keep talking about it to be, which usually it is with like the end of a regulation era, there's like you kind of pushing the limit at that point, so it should be a tighter season all in all.
You think?
I just think like McLaren is not going to be able to win anything next year if they don't come into the season with a strong car. They can't just
for sure
like fuel them. When I say win, I don't mean not win races. I mean like championships.
Yeah.
So
they would have to. I feel like they would have to have a. I don't want to say a near perfect season, but I almost feel that way because if I doubt Max is going to slow down anytime soon. So I mean,
Yeah, but then you gotta ask if Red Bull is gonna be back next year at all.
Because look, he came in 5th,
Yeah.
like yesterday. I mean,
it's true.
yeah,
It's
That's
fifth
true.
not
place
gonna be
doesn't win
enough.
you championships,
But
unfortunately.
also, to your point, if they expected that even with Max coming in 5th or whatever, or like just barely getting on the podium or whatever, given that how many podiums and wins he had early in the year, if they just expected that he was going to win it regardless, how early do you think they shifted development to 25?
Yeah,
That's
it's true.
like everybody's talking about this downfall of Red Bull. What about next year? Some of
Yeah,
these
and they have more wind tunnel hours too.
Some of these
Yeah.
things that Max was complaining about on the Red Bull are likely things that for 2025 are getting fixed. And it's not it's not a terrible car. The concept of the car is still good. It's just
Yeah.
balance issues, and little things that can be fixed. So
Yeah,
we
let's
shall
see.
we shall see.
We shall see.
Championship battle though, McLaren and Ferrari are very close.
Indeed.
Great news. I think Ferrari's gonna take it.
I think Ferrari's going to take it too.
I think it very well could be
I
Ferrari
think we all
too.
predicted a Ferrari win for this race. I'm the only one that predicted a Lewis Hamilton podium, and
Right, which was surprising. I thought it
Yeah.
was not going to be good this weekend.
Yeah.
didn't think
Yeah.
Mercedes would be good at all. But here we are.
Mercedes also coincidentally didn't think they were going to be good. So I
I
mean,
didn't think so either.
Hey, that's a good problem to have, though. If you don't think you're going to be good, then you're great. I mean,
absolutely.
And the other way around, because
shoot. Exactly.
can we also talk about the fact that like McLaren has just now like Vegas is going to be like statistically one of their terrible tracks? Because last year neither
Yeah.
finished the race.
Last year is mostly because like Norris crashed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was
Last year
thinking.
didn't finish the race either
Did he
Oh,
not?
he didn't.
last year, and then this year they were what 6th and 7th.
Yep.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds about right.
Like that's not like given the performance Mercedes had. They also like it's not even just the fact that they were 6th and 7th. It's the fact that like they were bad. Like their race pace was atrocious.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
couldn't do anything. They were stuck behind the Alp before Pierre Gasly had his problem. They were stuck behind Pierre for forever.
Yeah, they
Right.
couldn't even.
Yeah.
No.
And Lewis almost passed Piastri, but I mean, we learned he was the fastest car anyway. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, predictions for Qatar.
Qatar, or as some weirdos say, Qatar.
that is interesting.
I heard a couple people that can't pronounce it, so they could say Qatar. I don't know why, but
Interesting.
Yeah, so I think there's going to be a tale of the end of the season at Qatar. I have Ferrari taking the throne again. Meaning, as I got them wrong this weekend, I think they'll understand that Tristan was disappointed, and they'll know that they can get back on P1. So I have Leclerc P1, George P2, and then I have Carlos Sainz P3.
Interesting.
I don't see a McLaren or a Red Bull on the podium this coming weekend.
That's
Interesting.
actually fair. That's actually fair.
Shocking to me, actually. Do you think the sprint is going to be similar?
No,
it's
I have Max Verstappen winning the sprint.
Ooh,
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like it. Steven?
Yeah, I was thinking, you kind of convinced me that I feel like Max is going to do really well this race, actually, Tristan. And the reason why I say that is because I feel like knowing how Max is and the perfectionist that he is, I'm sure he's going to want to round out his season with a win.
Okay.
But I can also see the argument where it's like you already did what you came to accomplish, and maybe you pull out the reins a little bit. I could say the same thing. What's that?
I was going to say, I could see the exact opposite of what you just said. Like, Max has already won the championship. He's literally like, I give no fucks. Like,
yeah, I can see that too.
He could do any number of, like, I don't want to say slop.
Crash into Sergio Perez.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
Hilarious.
Just for old
They've
time's
never
sake.
had like an angry team rivalry because they've never had to race each other competitively.
Yeah.
But no, I think I would see the same thing from McLaren. I think they're going to pull back their reins a little bit too, just kind of prepare for next season at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel Lewis is going to win this one. I think Lewis is going to win. I think George P2. I think there's going to be another Mercedes one too.
Lewis
Jeez.
go out on a high note with Mercedes.
Yeah. And then, I don't know, I'll go Carlos Sainz P3.
Nice.
On a
That's
Ferrari
what I
next.
need.
The same.
I may predict the same. Like, honestly, if Mercedes are supposed to be good, I think they're going to be good.
Yeah.
And, Qatar is going to be a night race. It's going to be cold again. It's going to be in our Mercedes when Lewis, George.
Qatar's gonna be cold.
Yeah, it's a night race. In
Hot
the
as-
desert night race,
Desert
right?
nights are the coldest nights.
But it was the hottest race of the year last year.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought that was Abu Dhabi.
No.
Oh, no, you're right. Actually, but that doesn't change anything. Mercedes still think they're going to be fast. That might change who finishes second, though. I don't know what's going to happen to Ferrari.
It's not going to be as hot as it was last year, but it's still going to be hot.
I think it might be all right. So I'll keep Lewis, George, and Max will be in third.
Okay.
Okay.
I like it. I would like to think that because Max showed good pace in the beginning of this race, that like Tristan said, he could take the sprint. But I don't think he'll be on the podium, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think the McLaren's. I think the opposite of what you think. I think the McLaren's gonna be strong here, but I don't think it's gonna be like. I think it's Oscar.
Okay.
Oscar, George, Carlos.
That would be interesting. And
I like that. I like the
McLaren
looks of
win
that.
at all now would be interesting.
Yeah. I have
Yeah.
faith in Oscar though. I mean, I have faith in both of them, but it's just like I don't know.
I will say, I think Lando might be one of the worst people to win this race, just because I could see him being absolutely miserable afterwards.
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also the thing. I think me and Steven were talking about this week. I think that right now the better driver of those two is definitely Lando, but Oscar's ceiling is so, in my opinion, so much higher than Lando's is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Look at what he's
Remains
doing
to be
after
seen.
2 years in F1, but Lando hasn't in the car for
Yeah.
6 years.
Thing is, too, I think Piastri is just a lot more. I mean, we've seen it countless times like this season, in the past 2 seasons, really. Just how cool Piastri is compared to Lando.
My likes to say
Coolness.
that Piastri is worse than Max Verstappen because he'll do the same thing Max will. He just won't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's so
And that's a
cool.
dangerous thing right there. I think that's a dangerous recipe right there.
Yeah. Well, imagine like doing, for example, imagine any of the times that Lewis and Max or Max and Lando like ran into each other or had like some big incidents, and Max would get super hot-headed, especially
Yeah.
back in 2021. If the same thing happened, but Oscar didn't get hot-headed, he was able to keep his cool. That is a recipe for disaster, but also could play out well for him. So
Yeah. As I say, I mean, if Oscar can get inside Max's head, I mean, watch out.
yeah, I 100%. All
Yeah.
right, any final thoughts?
We're on
Go
to
Hawks.
next year.
Yeah, for
Remember
real.
when we thought Haas was dead? They're definitely not dead. It's it's steak.
Yeah,
It's
there
steak
is-
that is cooked. Oh.
There it is. There it
There it
is.
is. Came back.
Oh, yeah.
Brought it
I
back.
don't know. Interesting to see constructors play out because a lot of teams in the back half also very close to each other, as well as McLaren and Ferrari. We will have to wait and see next weekend and the weekend after for the end of the season. So with
Indeed.
that, thank you guys for watching. Tune in every Monday at 11:30 Eastern time, and in the meantime, check out our socials at Lights Out Latest, or Instagram and TikTok for Tech Tuesday, Wag Wednesday, Throwback Thursday, Fun Fact Friday, and occasional Man on the Street. Bye, guys.
See ya.
Peace.
Bye.